Crop formations.
Crop formations, yes.
Yes. For about 15 years, I've been researching both.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
Yes, it is. Physical research as well as spiritual research.
Yes, yes. The two go hand in hand because there is nothing non-spiritual about physical reality.
That's right.
Oh, that was a big lesson for some.
The energy I have consciously chosen to study along that path, and pretty much as soon as I got into it,
yes.
And somebody here earlier mentioned the Arcturians.
Yes.
What I believe is, well, through synchronicities, Arcturians have played a role and have...
all the beings in the Enneagram have played a role, as well as other spirit beings, other guides, other levels of dimensional consciousness, and even the consciousness of your own world, individually and collectively, have played a part in the creation of that language, of that multidimensional imagery that aids and assists you in being reflective of who you really are, or at least giving you a hint and a clue of the path to follow to discover yourselves.
Yes. And that was actually my next question was...
Well, thank you for allowing us to answer it ahead of time.
Thank you. My involvement in the studying and maybe dissemination of that information. Arcturians, a particular role they play, why is it the synchronicities are coming from?
It's a stabilizing energy, an aligning energy that allows one more ease of alignment with the true core frequencies of their being. That's what the Arcturus energy plays a part in doing.
And I heard you mention earlier, they're not physical. They are...
Not as you understand physicality, no.
Okay. More of a consciousness.
Yes.
Okay. That's question number one.
All right.
Was basically reminding me consciously of what I think I already know unconsciously.
Thank you.
So I'll continue to do that work because that brings me my highest excitement.
Yes.
Second and last, I was recently in Mount Shasta.
All right.
While I was there was a group of about 150 people from South America who were there for what we would call a contact.
Yes.
And I believe I saw craft.
Oh, all right.
That was associated with that contact.
All right.
There was a specific name that I was unaware of and was wondering if you knew anything about this particular
Are you referring
energy?
to Yael?
It's actually Antarel or Antarel. I'm unaware of this name yet. A researcher friend of mine, Paula Harris, was there, witnessed it, has written a story since. And the name hasn't rang a bell. I don't know what consciousness this is, what energy it is, and very curious because I've never heard of it before.
It is an offshoot extension of the hybrid civilization that will be one of the first to have open contact with your civilization.
Okay.
Does that help you?
That absolutely helps me.
All right.
Thank you. That's all that I have for you.
All right, thank you. Then that's all I have for you.
There you go. Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And you good day.
First of all, let me thank you for all your teachings, and I just want to tell you that I appreciate you so much.
All right. Well, we thank you for the co-creation.
My highest excitement seems to be lately regarding psychedelics.
All right.
Plant
Yes.
teachers.
Yes.
And I am curious about the big picture on ayahuasca and DMT and the difference thereof.
Well, they are guides and specific frequencies to allow you to experience altered states that give you an understanding of what kind of vibrational states you can come from in life, what kind of vibrational states you can recreate within yourself without necessarily requiring the teacher of the plant all the time. They are opportunities to be able to hone your senses, to be more able to perceive things that were heretofore invisible, that are all around you all the time, to allow your senses to peer into other dimensions and begin to break down the veils and the barriers between what you consider to be physical reality and other levels of dimensional reality. That's what they're there to do, to remind you of your connection to source, your connection to spirit, to allow you to function more holistically as a human being, as a part of nature, an expression of nature on the earth, and to allow you to perceive that you are connected to much more than you may think. But once they teach you this, the idea is also that you don't really need them any longer and that you can recreate those states within yourself anytime you so desire.
Awesome.
Yes. Oh, well put.
Any
Way to sum up.
Any danger I should be aware of while using
The
this?
only idea you might consider to be dangerous, which isn't really, is that you have to be prepared to face whatever it is they are going to show you about yourself and any fears you may be harboring. But it's not really dangerous. It might just feel like a wild ride.
Mm-hmm. Well, one of my fears is that I may be given false information and...
By the plant?
Yes.
You can't be given false information by the plant. What you can do, however, is that if you're holding on to certain belief systems that cause the information to be filtered in a way that's misaligned with what really would resonate with you, then you can certainly have that experience. But always look to yourself to see that you're the one that's going to be coloring that information. The information from the plant cannot be false.
Great.
Does that help?
Yes.
Always bring it back to yourself. Always take responsibility for what it is you are perceiving. It doesn't matter if someone else actually even has an intention to deceive you or falsify anything. Always take responsibility for your part in the co-creation, and you will always be able to unerringly guide yourself back to a center point, no matter what kind of information you are being fed. Yes?
Yes.
You can see through any illusion. The more transparent to yourself you become. You can
Yes.
see through any illusion. The more transparent to yourself you become. This is why the greatest sages, the greatest masters, and the greatest teachers, and the greatest literature on your planet has for centuries boiled down the ultimate answer, the ultimate idea to a simple two words. Know thyself.
Yes.
And then you will understand any reflections you may encounter, because you will understand it is all reflections, and if something is out of alignment, look to yourself first. Yes?
Yes, and that is my intention to...
All right, then if it is your intention, allow it to flow out through your actual actions. Remember, true knowing is synonymous with behavior. The things you know are true, you just do. If I ask you to walk across a room, you don't sit there and go, well, I think I can. Well, wait, I believe I can walk across the room. No, you just walk. The things you know are true, you just do. Action and knowing are synonymous. So if your behavior doesn't exhibit it, that means you don't quite know it yet. So keep digging.
Yes. So part of my interest with these plant medicines is
Yes.
that I wish to help my sister to come out of the downward spiral that she's been in for 25 years.
All right, but again, you heard us talk to someone else about doing your best to be an example of what she may choose, but you have to allow her to choose her path, even if it's negative. She may not be ready to take you up on a different course of action. Mm-hmm. If she is, she will. But the only way she will is if you simply provide the opportunity by being the best example you can be of someone who, if they choose that path, reflects the joy that she may in her heart wish to have, but again, may be too afraid to jump on, maybe too afraid to act on. So if you can allow yourself to impart information that you have learned from the plants in a way that will allow her to not be afraid to get in touch with her own deep-seated fear-based beliefs and allow her to let them go, then she may walk that path side by side. But if she chooses not to, there is not much you can do to change her mind. Do remember, however, there is never any reason in any way, shape, or form to despair. You are all eternal, infinite, indestructible beings. If it doesn't happen now, it'll happen sometime. Because you have all of infinity to explore who you are. And by your own definition, infinity never ends. Yes?
That's very reassuring.
Well, that's just the way things are. Does that help you?
Yes, it does very much. Thank you so much.
You are so very much welcome.
One more thing.
Yes.
What is this about triple numbers and meaningful numbers like 911 or 322?
Many people will use the idea of numerics to create signs and symbols and road markers so that when they experience the synchronicity of those numbers coming up, it will be like a sign that you are in the correct vibration and in alignment with your path.
Even like 911 is usually has negative connotations.
Well, you've given it one, but you can also recognize it has a positive one. Think of the idea of the phoenix rising from the ashes, yes?
I did not know that was related to 9/11.
I am saying it is related to the incident that you are relating 9/11 to.
Oh, okay.
So the idea is you can recognize, again, as we said earlier, that something can be generated from a fear-based belief. Something can be created. A situation can absolutely be manifested from a negative point of view. That doesn't mean that you have to use those symbols in a negative way yourself just because other people may relate to it that way. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So give yourself an opportunity to recognize 11 is a power number, a gateway to higher dimensions of higher consciousness, and 9 is the number of the completion of a cycle. So if you're completing an old cycle that activity, that incident represents, then you can take that as the beginning of a new cycle that begins with 11, which means you're going up a level, you're going up a dimension, you're going up a notch, and you're going up in vibration, so that if you change the way you go about doing things and relating to other people on your planet, then such things will never have to happen again in the negative context that they happened before.
Wow. I have arrived to this venue this morning at exactly 9/11.
All right. Well, you see,
and
there's positive benefit in that.
I even had to go around the block once because I missed the entrance.
You missed nothing.
No, I mean, when I came the second time, it was exactly 9/11.
Yes. So the idea of those numerical symbols can, in their most fundamental sense, simply represent perfect timing. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Does this help?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It helps a lot.
Some people on your planet are glasses half full. Some people on your planet are what glass? And some people on your planet are glasses half full, yippee, room for vodka. Thought you would enjoy that little Earth joke. Speaking of altered states.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I was wondering, have you ever heard of the biblical codes hidden in the Bible?
Yes. Again, going back to the idea of numerical symbols, numerical synchronicities, yes, that are reflective of collective consciousness ideas that you have buried and implanted in much of the literature that exists on your planet in a variety of ways. Do remember, as we have recently reminded another member of your species, words are vibrations. Words are resonance. They carry within them geometric and mathematical resonances that are representative of the structures of existence itself. And that's why you still retain the idea that when you speak words and when you spell words, it literally is the idea of the magical casting of spells. You still have the idea that when you use words, you are spelling. So the idea is that they have power, they have resonance. They are representative of those kinds of proportions and ratios and relationships of energy and frequencies within your reality.
So you're saying they weren't put in there by extraterrestrials by any chance?
Would you like to speak up so that all may hear what you just asked about extraterrestrials implanting things in the Bible?
Yeah, right. So are you saying they weren't planted in the Bible, and they're just...
Let's put it this way. There are dialogues that happen on many levels between the consciousness of the beings on Earth and the consciousness of beings from other places, other realities, other dimensions. And in combination, sometimes there are agreements that will inspire and create certain tomes, certain books, certain lines, certain frequencies that may be representative vibrationally of those conversations and dialogues taking place in a multidimensional way. So if you want to say we're involved to some degree, yes, that's true, but that doesn't mean you're not. Does that help? All of these things are reminders and wake-up calls and seeds that are planted so that one day when you become the gardeners that you are, you will water those seeds and see them bloom and rediscover what it is that you have co-created with us and other beings that you put there to remind yourselves of so that you would never forget. You have so many reminders implanted in so many places, it is really not possible for you to ultimately forget. You have left yourself breadcrumbs and road markers all along the way, and we have been happy to help along with many other beings. So it's a co-creation.
Right.
Yes?
Yes.
Does that help?
It helps, yes.
Anything else?
Yes.
Speak
Do
up.
we have the capability of time travel?
First of all, you have to understand that you're doing it all the time. No pun intended. The idea of time travel, however, is not exactly what you might find in some of your classic science fiction stories. Not exactly. If you understand that everything exists all at once, then all you're actually doing when it appears that you're time traveling is you're simply shifting from one parallel reality to another that may be representative of something you would call a different time frame that you would relate to linearly as the past or the future. But all those realities, all those parallel realities exist exactly all at once. And if you shift your vibration from one to the other, it may seem like you're actually going into your own past, but you're not.
So that definitely can't change the past or the future.
Let's put it this way. Let me give you a graphic illustrative analogy, if I may.
Oh, sure.
All right. Imagine you have a camera, and you have taken a picture of yourself as a child of 10 years old, yes?
Yes.
Click. There's the photo developed, and you lay it on the table, yes?
Right.
All right. Now you have grown up to 30, and you take a picture of yourself at 30. Click, and you develop the picture, and you lay it next to the picture of the child of yourself at 10, yes?
Right. Done that before.
All right. Now, at 40, you invent a time machine. And you take a picture of yourself in the time machine, click, and you lay it on the table next to the 30-year-old, next to the 10-year-old. There you are, yes?
Right.
All right. And now you decide, I'm going to go back in time, quote unquote, and I'm going to visit myself as a 10-year-old. So you go back in time with your camera, you stand next to the 10-year-old self, and you go click, and now you have a picture of the 40-year-old self and the 10-year-old self in the same photograph, yes? And you develop the photo, and you lay it on the table, and what's the first thing you notice? It's a separate photograph, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not actually in the photo where you took the picture of yourself at 10. You're in another photo where you have a picture of yourself as a 40-year-old and a picture of another version of you as a 10-year-old. But it's not that 10-year-old because it's not that picture.
It must have been
All the pictures exist side by side at the same time. That tells you exactly what the nature and structure of reality is like. If you weren't in that picture, you never can be, because that's its own moment, and it is sacrosanct as a moment, as a reality. But you can create the illusion that you're going back in time, but no, you can never actually affect the original 10-year-old picture.
Right.
Because that's its own reality. And the reality of you as a 40-year-old with a 10-year-old is another picture. It's another reality.
Okay, it makes sense. A different dimension
Yeah.
kind of thing? Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
It's great. Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And you, good day.
Can you tell us what happened to the Malaysian flight MH370?
Yes, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, will I tell you? No.
Okay, can you tell us something about it?
As we have originally said, it involved what you would call a defection. Do you understand the term? A defection?
Yes.
Political defection? Seeking sanctuary?
I get
What
it.
you call asylum?
I know exactly.
All right. But shall we say, didn't go according to plan? That's all we are allowed to say. Because there will be more information on this coming up in a manner that if we tell you more now, will actually prevent a process from going forward in the way that most of you would wish it to.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Nevertheless, that's what we are allowed to say. Anything else?
Yes. You said that everything is going to change in 2016.
I did.
Can you tell us more about it?
Nope. And that one I'm sticking to.
Okay.
However, we have already announced that there is an upcoming transmission called 2015 to 2016, the years of expansion and contraction, and in that transmission we'll be allowed to say a little bit more.
Great.
But now is not the time.
Okay.
Anything else?
Can you tell us if it's going to be like a air show of spaceships or something related
What did I
to
just
that?
say?
Okay.
What did I just say?
I know. I just trying to figure out a little more about it.
You go right ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
And don't let me stop you from asking all the questions you wish to ask, because if you ask the questions yourself, you may actually answer them.
Yeah. Okay. Can you tell me more about my relationship to the yayo? I spoke to you last time,
Yes,
and
yes,
you
yes.
said
We're looking. We're looking at your pattern. We're reading your energy pattern. Give us a moment. If you have not already had it, it is likely you will begin to have some kind of dream contact with a young child of the Yael that will help illuminate your relationship to that species and what may be happening in the future when the children are delivered to live among you on your planet.
Can you
All right.
tell me the name?
Nope.
How many?
You have to have the dream, and you'll only be dealing with one right now, and that's all you get. So suck it up.
Okay. Can you tell us what is the percentage of me reaching 157 years old?
At this particular moment,
Yes.
63%.
63.
At this particular moment, 57%. At this particular moment, 68%.
Hey, that's-
At this
that's good.
particular moment, 87%. At this
87 's
particular
good.
moment, 47%. At this
Okay.
particular moment, 33%.
All right.
Is that enough?
That's perfect.
Thank you.
All right. You said our first planet we're going to visit, it's called...
Barnard's star has a planet around it that will likely be the first place that you will practice your ability to interact with another species as their UFOs in the future.
And their planet name is Uva?
Uva.
Okay. Do they have a fruit? Do they have grapes in their planet? Or
They
something
have
related?
fruit, not exactly what you would call a grape, but something similar.
Okay. Just wondering. Because in Portuguese language, grape is uva.
All right.
So I just thought there was going to be any...
Then if you wish, you can consider the entire planet one big grape. So that when you go there, it will be a grape experience for you.
Great, Bashar. I think that's
Thank you
all.
very much.
Thank you very much.
Greetings, Bashar. How are you?
And to you, good day.
Thank you. I have a question when it comes to chiropractic.
Yes.
How does reconnecting the human nervous system through chiropractic lead to a spiritual connection?
Well, again, if you have taken yourself out of alignment, you may have created within yourself a resistance to energy flow in the body. So realignment will obviously remove any kinds of blockages in that sense. that would allow for a greater flow and more alignment within the overall energy field. Yes?
Yes, thank you. As you probably know, when I glance at the sun, I receive interdimensional symbols on the
Yes.
back of my eyelids.
Yes.
How or what would be the best way to fuse those symbols in an energetic sense with chiropractic?
Well, what state do you feel you're in when you experience the symbols?
The highest state.
That state is the state from which to come in doing any kind of other work. Make sure that you are in that state. Remember, when you have an experience that to you represents great alignment with your highest frequency, in whatever form that comes, and it doesn't always have to be exactly felt the same, by the way. Just as long as you believe it is representative, when you remember what that felt like, you're in that state again. The paradox is you actually have to be in the state to remember what it felt like before.
Right.
You understand the paradox?
Yes.
Because you cannot perceive what you're not the vibration of first. So you use memory to trick yourself into being in the state, and you think linearly it happens that if you remember a time when you were in that state, you'll be in that state again. But what's actually happening is you have to be in that state first in order to even have the memory of ever having been in it before. So that means as soon as you remember it, you've been in the state.
Gotcha.
Does that help?
That does. And how, or I guess, what is the greatest purpose for the frequencies of these symbols for not just humanity and the earth, but for the greater universe as a whole?
The greatest purpose is to allow you to be the absolute fullest expression of the unique aspect of creation that you are. Period. Because by being the fullest you can be, that is of greatest service to every other being in creation.
Awesome. And how are these symbols transmitted between different stars? As in, like, is it through portals? I guess, is there a light network created?
Telepathically. Telepathically. Vibrationally, resonantly. You do understand that everything exists here and now, yes? It's the second law?
Yes.
Well, if everything is really here and now, when a society or an individual truly understands that, then you understand that as long as you are in some sort of resonant field that is similar to another resonant field, the issue of distance matters not. It's similar to what your physicists are now referring to as quantum entanglement. It doesn't matter how far apart two entangled particles may be. They can be light years apart. If you alter one, the other one alters automatically, no matter how far away it is.
So you're saying there's quantum entanglement between me and the sun, or me and the symbols?
Everything.
Everything.
Do you remember or are you aware of something that we once referred to in our reality called the prime radiant?
I've heard it, but I don't remember exactly what it is.
Here's the analogy. Imagine that there is an empty void, and the only thing in that void is one single particle. Yes?
Yes.
You got that?
Gotcha.
All right. Now, of course, again, this is just a metaphor. I'm not saying this is literally how it looks. But the idea is that if there is only one particle in an empty void of infinity, then there really are no laws, there really are no rules governing that single particle, because there's nothing else for it to relate to, correct?
Correct.
So it can go as fast as it wants, can't it?
Yes.
It could go at infinite speed, couldn't it?
For sure.
If it went at infinite speed, it would be everywhere at once, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And that means it would appear, from a third-party perspective, to actually be standing next to itself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, wouldn't it?
Yes.
But it's the same particle, isn't it?
Yeah.
You might perceive it as many different particles, but it's actually the same particle, just moving so fast it can look like 2, 3, 4, 5, an infinite number of particles, can't it? Mm-hmm. Well, if you understand that that's fundamentally the way it works, then you will understand that the same one particle that makes you up, and every single atom and subatomic particle in your body up, is exactly the same particle that makes up the chair, the building, the sun, the stars, the galaxies, everything. Because you are all the same particle, even physically, in the ultimate infinite time-sharing program. Does that make sense?
That does.
Therefore, everything is actually literally one and the same thing. So if you decide that from one perspective you're going to send a message or information then all you have to do is decide that another aspect of you, which exists at the same time in the same place, is going to receive that message, and so it is. Because you're using the entanglement of the fact that everything is made out of the same one particle. So if the one particle knows it and sends it, why wouldn't the same particle know it and receive it?
Gotcha. So
that help?
So I'm on the receiving end, we could say.
If you wish to think of yourself that way, yes. But you're also on the sending end.
Correct. All right.
Remember, all that is ultimately is simply interacting with itself over and over and over and over and over again as all of us and all of you and all of everything. It's just reflections of the same thing from different points of view. But nothing really goes anywhere. Space is an illusion. Time is an illusion. It's just a side effect. Everything is here and now. So the sending of a message involves actually, really, no distance unless you create the illusion that it does.
Gotcha.
Does that help?
That does. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Hello, Bashar.
I know you. Good day.
So I was wondering, what happens to people when they hurt others? Like, how do they pay for this? How is it accounted for?
It is accounted for in energy balancing. As we have said, most likely there can be consequences or effects that are experienced in the physical life, but inevitably there are the effects of every action and every choice experienced in what you would call the afterlife, because there are no longer any time-space barriers between you, in a sense, and another. So you will identify with all those who may have chosen to experience an effect of something you chose to do. And thus you will learn from it and balance from it and realize by experiencing everything the way they experienced it that that may be or may not be something that you would prefer to do again. Therefore, there is energy balancing in that recognition and in that experiencing. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And so what happens to the soul after death?
Well, many different things, anything you want. Again, we're only talking linearly here for convenience, yes? In a sense, you're already dead. Because everything exists at once. And as I said, you never really leave heaven. You just dream that you have. Nevertheless, what you generally will experience because of the way you think of these things is similar to what many people relate with regard to near-death experiences. You may experience a shift from one dimension to another, like going through a tunnel of light, but that's just a perception. It's an interpretation of the shift from one level to another. You will be greeted by those who are already in that spirit realm, family, friends, so on and so forth. You will have the life review idea that we just mentioned to some degree in some fashion, and you will decide what to do with what you have learned, and you will move on from there in any way, shape, or form you so desire. There are many, 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 many choices. You can go on to other dimensions. You can experience the illusion of reincarnation. You can even live and continue to live the same life as if you never died in another parallel reality version of yourself. You can become a spirit guide if you wish. You can have an experience of incarnating in an alien civilization if you wish. You can go and explore the galaxies as a spirit if you wish. It's really up to you. You can go to higher levels, higher planes, commune with the oversoul, do all sorts of things. You can even join communities in the spirit world and create whole, apparently solidly physical realities, if you wish. Because again, remember, as above, so below. And all the templates for everything you experience in physical reality already exist as a blueprint in spirit, and you can still experience those things in a very physical way if you wish to. But of course, because it's not really the same degree of physicality, in the blink of an eye, you can change everything.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, definitely.
Was that too much?
No, it
right.
was just all right.
Oh, all right.
So I have another question. What is the highest vibration of spirituality, and how do we get there? Like,
the highest vibration of spirituality?
yeah, I might have used the words wrong. How does one achieve that highest level of spirituality where...
I already gave you the formula. You act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability with no insistence or assumption as to what the outcome ought to be. 1, 2, 3. Period. It's that simple. Because excitement, your physical body's translation of the vibrational energy of your true self, your highest vibration, often translates in your body as passion, excitement, love, creativity. So anytime you act and are willing to take action on whatever option is available to you in life at any given moment that contains even a little bit more of that excitement than any other option, and you're willing to act on it to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you can till you can take it no further, with absolutely no insistence on what you think should happen or where it should get you or how the outcome should look, you are using the correct formula to keep expanding your excitement and keep raising your frequency experience.
Okay, would meditation help?
It can, if that's what you're attracted to. You remember what we said about permission slips?
Yes.
Meditation's a permission slip. If you're
Okay.
attracted to it, you're attracted to it for a reason.
Okay.
So use it. Or when you are no longer attracted to it, use something else. It's up to you. It's completely in your hands. Utterly, totally, completely in your hands. You get to decide. You get to choose. Make a decision.
Okay, thank you so much.
Does this
Bashar.
help you?
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, in the last year or so, I've become more and more tuned to
Speak up, speak up.
tuned to the state of our humanity and our ecology and the possibility of human extinction. And it's concerning me more and more.
All right, well, take action. Remember we talked about the call to action?
Yes.
So the actions you take will help you align with other people of like vibration and will shift you to a version of Earth in a parallel dimension that will be more and more and more and more reflective and representative of the vibrational changes you make within yourself by taking action, by answering the call to action. You never change the world you're on. There are an infinite number of versions of Earth that have already extincted themselves.
Yes.
Nothing you can do about that because everything that can exist will exist. What you can do is you can put out the call and put out the vibration that acts as an encouragement and a vibrational invitation to others of like vibration and like mind to shift together in agreement to more and more parallel versions of Earth that are more and more reflective of the kind of reality you prefer to experience. And that's what you do.
Yes, thank you. And my question is, has to do with the difference between choosing a belief structure that's more consistent with the future that I prefer,
Yes.
and the possibility of ignoring or being in denial about a negative reality which I'm choosing not to see but still participating in, and how to tell the
yes.
difference.
Again, you can have a neutral observation of something that is negative but is recognized as vibrationally incompatible. But we're not talking about denial or glossing things over. We are talking about taking action to do whatever you can to make a difference.
Yes.
But it is that action that actually makes the shift happen. So that by the time the action is done, the action has actually been accomplished in another reality.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
It does.
All right.
It does.
The
And-
taking of the action in the direction of your preference is the actual mechanism that allows you to guide and steer yourself through the shifts through parallel realities that are more reflective of what you prefer to experience.
And what I'm also getting is taking actions that are consistent with my belief structure that they will work, that over time
course.
that will go in that direction.
Of
yes.
course they will work.
Yes.
But not because they will change what's there.
Correct.
They will work because they will shift you to something else that is more reflective.
Understood.
And at the same time, function as a shining example of what others can also choose to shift themselves to as well.
Understood.
Remember, the whole structure already exists. All possible versions of Earth already exist. The only real option you have is to shift to the versions you prefer. You can't change the ones that you don't, but you can be a shining example to give those people that might be choosing to experience those an opportunity to shift themselves to ones that they might prefer more. That's where the action comes in. That's where lending a helping hand comes in. That's where being an example, a living, active example, comes in.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Does that help?
That does.
Thank you.
I have a question also about music. I'm a musician,
Oh, all right. How exciting.
and I am excited by it.
It's all about resonance, yes.
Exactly. And I wonder, what do you have to say about how I can use music to more powerfully call people into love?
Well, you know that if you are following your excitement when you create music, it's going to attract exactly who it needs to attract. It will never attract those who don't want to be attracted by it. So what difference does that make? You know that if you have, as we said before, a gift to give, and you express that gift in the state of passion you prefer to be in, it's going to attract exactly those who are looking for that specific state.
Then,
Yes?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Then follow my excitement.
yes.
Yes.
It really is that simple. It really is that simple. It really is that simple. I'm not fooling you.
Gotcha.
It really is that simple.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else that you'd like to say to me that might facilitate me on my path for what's next for me?
Nope.
Okay, thank you.
If we had it, we would have said it.
I understand.
Unless, of course, you decide to open a door by making a statement that we can then walk through with you.
I think I'm
Hint,
good.
hint.
Oh.
Ah. Aha. Oh.
I love you, Bashar.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go and make music.
I will.
Greetings to you, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I would like to say to you that I appreciate a lot the vibrational frequency that you are vibrating out.
All right. Well, thank you for allowing us to reflect back to all of you the pure vibration of your hearts and higher minds, because all you're feeling is yourself.
Thank you. I would like to ask you if you have any analogy or a picture that would make it easier for me or for human beings
To understand what?
to experience the feeling of oneness and the feeling the feeling of connectedness.
All right. Well, I already described the prime radiant. That's one way you could illustrate it. Yes?
Yeah.
All right.
So sometimes we may perceive reality as we are separate from it.
Yes.
And
Well, I ask you the logical question, which
Yeah.
can also act as a type of illustration.
yeah,
How can you possibly actually be separated from something that is everywhere?
yeah, that makes me laugh. Yeah.
Yes, you see.
I see.
So perfect. The fact that you laugh realigns you and connects you to the experience that everything is all one.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
Really, in some cases, all you have to do is actually apply a little logic.
Yeah.
You can't really be disconnected from source. If that were really true, you wouldn't exist. However, you can use your connection to source to play the game that you are disconnected as an experience. But you have to be connected in order to have the experience of being disconnected. That's the paradox.
Okay.
Yes? You have to be unconditionally supported by creation in order to be able to create an experience of not being supported. That's the paradox.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
And this is one of the reasons why they say when you see the cosmic joke, you will laugh and you will align.
Okay.
So that's a big cosmic joke that you're playing on yourself.
Well, I have another question.
Yes.
How is love experienced on your planet?
Very well, thank you. Unconditionally, thank you.
Can you describe some of the...
We are all telepathically connected.
Yeah?
In a sense, we are all one family, even
Yeah.
though we honor every single individual aspect within that family. We are of, in a sense, one marriage. We are of many hearts and one mind. We are of many minds and one heart. We allow for the full expression of each being because we understand that the absolute validation of every single individual is what creates absolute harmony and unity among all of us and makes us one and also makes us all.
Wow.
We live in synchronicity. We do not really plan. We are simply where we need to be, when we need to be there, with whom we need to be there. We do not put expectations, assumptions, and labels on things. We allow things to be what they are and to reveal themselves to us in the timing that is correct for each and every one. We explore, we discover, we grow, we learn, we exist, we live as we dream, and dream as we live.
Wow.
All right, well said.
And I have another question.
Yes.
Here on Earth,
Yes.
as the collective vibrational level is at this very moment, how can individually and collectively, how can we
Yes.
vibrate this type of love and this type of
By acting
excitement?
on your highest excitement. Didn't I say that was the simple formula?
Yeah.
Well, has not doing so brought you into a discussion with us on a planet that in general would think you're crazy for having a conversation with us? And yet, your excitement has brought you into an aspect of the reality that many people on your planet don't even know exists within your reality. There are worlds within worlds within worlds in your own world. Whatever you vibrate to is what you will encounter. Yes?
Okay.
So that's all you need to do. Act on your highest excitement, and all the connections and all the appointments and all the agreements you have ever made will simply fulfill themselves in the measure of time in perfect timing. The only way you can miss any of the appointments you have made is to spend your time and energy worrying that you will miss the appointment. But if you don't spend your time and energy worrying you will miss the appointment, it is not possible for you to do so. So just live your life to the fullest. That is your purpose, to be who you are in the most full way you possibly can be, and know that in that state your life already works. You don't have to make it work. You just have to allow it to work.
Okay.
Remember, as we have discussed, this whole idea now that many of you are exploring called the law of attraction, what we call the fourth law, what you put out is what you get back. It's not wrong when you say, well, I have to learn to be the vibration of something to attract it. Yes, all right. But that's not the whole idea. Really, more precisely, you are, as we have said already, a specific signature frequency that defines you as you, the unique being you are. You are radiating that core frequency all the time like a lighthouse beacon. It never goes off. The things that are actually representative and in alignment with that true core frequency are always, without fail, always doing their best to get to you, to manifest for you. If they don't, it's not because you're not attracting them. It's because you're keeping them away. That's the difference. When you clear yourself out of all the things you're using to keep what is yours and what is you away, then all you're doing is letting it in after you just let go of the things that have nothing to do with you. And that's it. The real secret to the law of attraction is just to let go of what's not yours and just let in what is. Because it's already attempting to get to you, to manifest for you. Remember, none of the manifestations are actually coming from anywhere else. When you say attraction, you conjure up this idea in your mind that it's somewhere else, way out there, somewhere, I don't know. And I'm going to be this big, powerful magnet and I'm going to attract it. It's around you right now. You have it right now. You just don't see it yet because you're not on the wavelength where you allow it to be visible. And of course, there is negative and positive reasons for that. So don't assume that if you let go of all the negative ideas that every single thing will manifest instantaneously. Many might. But only those things that are relevant to serve you at that moment. You will allow yourself to automatically let things happen in a certain way and in a certain timing because that's the experience you actually prefer. Because the process is the point. The journey is the destination, and that's why you have the experience of the physical dream. Because you wanted to go through the process of discovering another aspect of yourself from a new point of view. If it was just an experience of instantaneous manifestation, you wouldn't have the experience of discovering that thing and really appreciating that discovery. You understand the difference?
Yes.
So, be here now means understand that when you allow yourself to let go of all of the negative belief systems that you can let go of, there will still be a process of release and letting go of things, but it will shift from the negative version to the positive version. The negative version is the idea of having to let go of negative beliefs. Once you have done all that, it will shift to the positive version of continuing to let things go, but the things you are now letting go of are not negative, they are simply no longer relevant. That's all.
Wow.
And you streamline and streamline and streamline and streamline until there is nothing left but the pure you, and that is the discovery you have, a new point of view, a new aspect, a new perspective of who and what you are as the unique aspect of all that is that you are. And that's what life is all about.
Wow.
Sounds like fun, yes?
It sounds like a lot of fun. I have one last question.
Yes.
And that is about the great thing here on our earth called fear, or
Yes.
that we like to call fear.
Fear is your friend.
Yes. So I know it's my friend, and I appreciate that we have this tool to play with.
Yes.
But when it comes, I sometimes experience that it takes control, and I can look.
I
at
know,
it, but
I know it feels that way,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Okay.
Remember, you're using your power of being in control to pretend you're out of control.
Okay,
Yes?
I see.
And remember, belief systems, especially negative belief systems, will make it seem impossible to have any other belief. So that's just the way they're designed, that's all. But if you know it's just a belief, then you can walk through the fear. Redefine the fear in the way that you prefer to. Make it work for you instead of against you. Don't resist it. Invite it in and say, I understand that I am a 100% energy. I'm going to experience my energy by filtering that energy and flowing that energy through belief systems that make up my physical mind. And when I flow that energy through belief systems that are in alignment with my true self, I will experience my energy in the fashion you call joy. When I filter the very same energy through belief systems that are out of alignment with who I really am vibrationally, I will experience my energy as fear. But that's a positive thing, because now by feeling the fear is like a messenger knocking on my door saying, hey, 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 you have a belief you're unaware of that's out of alignment with who you prefer to be, and that's why you're feeling the energy the way you're feeling it. So say, thank you, fear, for knocking on my door and getting my attention and bringing my attention to the fact that I have a belief system I don't prefer, that I was unaware of. Now I can find out what it is, and when I find out what it is, it will be gone and I will move forward. You have done me a service, dear friend fear.
So you have a little conversation with it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Remember,
Yeah.
please remember in this context, very important that you brought that up and pointed out that it is a conversation. As we said at the very beginning of this transmission, everything is all that is, but every single aspect is its own autonomous, self-aware consciousness. You are actually having a conversation not only with another aspect of yourself, you are still also having a conversation with a true autonomous entity. So yes, have a conversation. It'll understand. It'll understand. Have a conversation. Treat it nicely. Show good manners. It'll respect you, and you'll work things out. Negotiate with your fear. It'll understand.
Okay.
Because ultimately, it benefits the fear for you to use it in a positive way, to let it do its job and say, thank you. You've done your job. I now am more aware of the light because you have outlined it with the darkness and made it easier to find. Many people on your planet have an easier time understanding what they prefer by attracting what they don't, by comparison.
Okay.
So learn from it. Use it in a positive way. Does that help you?
Yes, a lot, and I
Thank you.
enjoy this beautiful moment with you, and I hope to come to your planet one day and discover your energies there.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming here.
All right. Thank you, and good day.
Good day.
At this timing, you may all take a very short break, and we will resume the transmission with your holotope meditational permission. Or it'll say, are you feeling better?
Thank you.
Well, you're in trouble now.
No troubles.
All right, you may proceed.
First of all, thank you for this experience.
Oh, thank you for the co-creation.
My question is
Speak
about.
up, speak up.
My question is about acting on our highest excitement. You always mention that.
What a coincidence. We talk a lot about that.
But how about sometimes I push myself to meditate, to go to the gym, to study, but after that I feel really good.
All right, stop. When you look at the idea of acting on something that contains more excitement than something else, but you find that you have to push yourself to do it, it may be because of one of two things, generally. Can be other things, but one of two major things generally. Number one, it may not necessarily be representative of your excitement, or you may be coloring the way you go about it to make the way you go about it seem not exciting when you could be going about it in a more exciting way. That is part of the overall excitement instead of just looking at it as a means to an end. Is this making sense? In other words, you have to have the ability to discern what is really representative of excitement and what is not, or what you may be making look like it's excitement that's not, or what may be not your excitement that is, that you're making look like it's not your excitement. Many things in your belief system can color the way you look at the way you go about doing things. And if you have a different definition, a different belief about a process that is different than the thing itself, and you're not seeing the whole thing, the process and the thing, as one thing, then you will separate those things out and saying, well, the thing itself is exciting when I do it, but getting myself to do it is difficult. Well, that means you're making a segregation between the idea of doing it and getting to do it, when it's actually one thing. If it was something you were really excited about and doing it in the most exciting way you can imagine, nothing would stop you. There'd be no hesitation, and there would be no difficulty. Is this making sense?
Usually fun things come, easily. You just don't have to push yourself.
Exactly,
But
and
things
that
like-
means then you're in alignment with not only the thing itself, but all the ways in which you allow yourself to arrive at the doing of that thing, which are actually all part of doing that thing. This is why we say when you act on your excitement, it's very important, not just the thing itself, but how you do it, where you do it, with whom you do it. All the components have to be in alignment with the excitement, or it's not really a holistic definition of the thing that excites you the most. Do you understand?
Yes, makes
So
sense.
because you have to push yourself to do things, that only means that either you are coloring the way you're going about it, and there could be a more exciting way you could go about getting to that and doing that thing, and you have different kinds of ideas about what getting to do it means, or it's really not necessarily something that excites you at that moment, and you're forcing yourself to do it when you could be doing something more exciting.
How to distinguish?
Well, as I said, it takes honesty. It takes real self-evaluation. You have to be honest as to whether or not you're actually coloring it. But it comes with a simple question. Again, what would I have to believe is true relative to this experience about myself that makes me feel what I feel? Where's the resistance coming from? What is it I'm actually resisting? Resistance is usually the product of fear. So even though a thing may excite you, there may be something you're attaching to that thing, some belief, some definition, that for some reason dampens the excitement, and dampens the excitement in certain aspects that are connected to it. So you have to look at it holistically. So let's ask these questions to be more specific. You have used the idea of meditation as an example, yes?
Yes.
When you're doing the meditation, are you excited about doing it? Yes or no?
Yes, during and after especially, I
All
feel
right.
very good.
So the question would be, what's different in your definition between doing it and after you do it to getting to do it? What difference in definition are you making between starting to do it or going to do it as opposed to doing it? What's the difference?
Laziness, let's say. I don't know what
There
is
is really
this.
no laziness. That's really not a realistic answer. Because again, it's not that you're lazy, it's that you're resistant. And you're resistant to something specific. Wow. So what is that specific thing in your mind going around in the unconscious mind that causes you to resist doing a thing you say is exciting? There has to be a definition there that doesn't make it look exciting, or you wouldn't feel resistance to doing it. You would just do it. So what is the definition you're holding on to that makes it difficult for you to do something you say is exciting? What are you afraid will happen if that's exciting too?
Basically nothing.
You
I'm
have to be afraid
of
of something.
I don't know at the moment, maybe.
Speak up.
I don't know the answer yet.
Yes, you do.
Really?
Absolutely. You're just not being honest enough yet.
Wow.
Let's reverse the question in a different direction. Why are you excited about the meditation? What do you think you're getting out of doing the meditation when you do it?
Because I connect, I feel good. It feels good.
It
basically.
feels good.
Exactly.
And you connect.
Exactly.
All right. And afterward, there is a kind of an afterglow. You still feel connected. You still feel good.
Yes.
All right. What is it about before doing the meditation that doesn't feel the same way?
The same thing happens going to the gym, let's say. It's the
I
better
understand.
example.
What is it
Just-
about the thing before that doesn't, in your mind, think that it can feel the same way? What are you making an assumption about that makes the thing before the thing seem to be something different that won't feel the same?
Wow.
Can you be specific about what it is you don't enjoy about getting to do it as opposed to doing it?
Maybe I push myself a lot.
Push yourself.
For doing things in the right way, right time.
All right. And so you are tired of pushing yourself. You resent yourself for pushing yourself. Therefore, you argue with yourself and resist yourself because you think you have to push yourself to do something exciting. But that's a contradiction. If it's really exciting, you wouldn't have to push yourself. Maybe you think you're lying to yourself about those things being exciting. Are you just using them as a cover for something more exciting? Are you using them as a fallback a default position for something else you could be doing that would actually be more exciting, but that you're afraid to do?
Maybe.
Well, what would that be? If you were willing to truly act on the things in your life that are most exciting to you, what are you afraid might happen if you did that?
Yeah, basically nothing. I know. Just the happiness.
Nope, you're not being honest. You have to understand this is a very obvious thing. If you find resistance in your life, it is usually because there is either a fear-based definition or you are assuming you have to do something you don't really have to do. So let's approach the first one and the second one in a different order. Let's say you did not meditate. Yes?
Yes.
Well, if you didn't meditate, if you chose not to meditate, then you wouldn't feel pushed to meditate, would you?
Yes.
Would you be all right with not meditating?
We'll be fine. Yeah.
Oh, all right, so it's not really that exciting then, is it? Is it? If you're okay with not doing it, trust me, you're not passionate about it.
Yes.
You understand?
I understand.
All right. That's the key. You're not really doing the things you would actually find most exciting. You're just using stand-ins and pretending that they are, and that's why you resist doing them. Yes, of course, they may feel good when you do them, but the point is your resistance is coming from the fact that that's not really the most exciting thing you could be doing because you're very readily willing to give it up. And if you're really passionate about it, you wouldn't be. That's what you would resist.
Okay.
You understand the difference?
Yes. Yes.
Is this helping?
Very much.
All right. Is something illuminating within you?
Absolutely. One more question.
Yes.
If I can.
Speak up.
I remember just you mentioned once about control from outside.
There is no
You
such
said
thing.
There's no such thing. You said there's a game like they want you to believe that they are controlling you.
Yes.
But it's just a game.
Well, in other words, they're very clever, very smart. They know how to communicate certain things. But the greatest power that they have in the negative context is getting you to believe that they have more power than they do. And as soon as you buy into the idea that they want you to buy into, that they have more power than they do, then you give them their power, and then they appear to have more power than they do. That's the game. Don't play the game.
Okay.
Does that help?
Very much.
Thank you. Go and find something that you're really excited about.
Thank you.
And then there will be no resistance whatsoever. It will take a team of wild horses to keep you away from doing it.
Oh, wow.
Yes?
Thank you. Yes.
That's when you know you're really acting on your passion, is when you feel you have no other choice. Really, no other choice. As you say on your planet, come hell or high water, no other choice. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm doing. If it's truly your passion, you will stop at nothing, and there will be no resistance to doing it. Yes?
So I
act
have
on
to
your
just
passion.
find it. That's my, basically.
Don't experience resistance by finding out what you're truly passionate about and acting on it. Because the things that you're acting on may feel good, but they're obviously not really that much of an experience about passion, or you would have no resistance to them at all. All right?
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Tadeo.
Good day to you, Nania.
Speaking of hell,
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, in your travels of contact, what is the darkest, most negative civilization that you've encountered, and how would that compare with what you see on Earth?
If you wish any kind of a comparison at all, it would be the idea of a civilization that doesn't know that there is any other option other than what it is experiencing that allows it to feel completely and utterly hopeless and despairing. And in that despair, there is absolutely no inkling that there can be anything else. You have the freedom to know there is something else. Yes?
Yes. Yeah, we have the
The
yin
greatest
yangs.
hell is the one you don't know you're in.
So, like the ancient Orion system?
Closer, but even there were those that resisted. There are dark places you don't want me to take you to. Do you understand?
Yes, and in fact, I know that one of the things that humans feel challenged by is dealing with the levels of darkness that are on our planet, that are
Yes.
expressed on our planet.
And sometimes they are relatively dark compared to other places, and that's fine because you are a master class. You can graduate from this. You can transform the darkness into light, which is an expression of your power. And relative to the places you just asked me to describe, you have it pretty easy. So count your blessings.
There's always a silver lining.
There
I
is
know.
always a silver lining. Yes.
And so when we're dealing with darkness,
Yes.
and particularly I've noticed that as people expand their awareness and become more connected with other dimensions and everything, that also what can happen is great fear can come up. Fear of demons.
Yes.
Fear of negative aliens.
Yes.
To the point of almost a hysteria. And
Yes.
and when I say that, I say it with compassion because if you've ever experienced that degree of negativity being in your face in a sense,
Yes.
it is utterly and completely terrifying.
Yes, of course, that's what it's designed to be.
And so, is there something that you could say about as people go along on this journey and perhaps those kinds of negative energies that are so frightening?
I just said it. I just said it.
Just to count your blessings?
No, that's what it's designed to be.
It's designed to terrify.
Yes, that's its job. That's what it's designed to be. You have the entire spectrum of experience within creation. Some things are designed to reflect joy. Some things are designed to reflect terror. That's its job. That's what it's designed to be. When you know that, it will start to appear simply like the villain in a play that's wearing a mask, but you know there's simply an actor beyond it that doesn't have the intention that the mask is designed to convey, but the actor is playing a part. Therefore, if you understand, no matter how terrifying something may seem, that it is simply what it's designed to play, that starts to remove the charge, because you start to see through the mask, and you start to realize that behind everything, no matter how brilliant, no matter how bright, no matter how gray, no matter how dark, no matter how terrifying, behind everything is the same spark of source and all that is, and there is nothing that's happening that doesn't have a reason for happening. It's all valid, and it's all part of the play.
And with Star Wars, I'm remembering that scene where Luke Skywalker goes into the swamp to face his fear. This seems to be some sort of a rite of passage,
Yes,
or a...
it's called your dark night of the soul.
Okay, and so can you share with us in that representation,
Yes.
what exactly...
It's an opportunity to recognize the polarity that exists within each and every being, to acknowledge it, to own it, and then to balance it, to neutralize it, to learn from it, to propel you toward what you prefer. Yes?
Yes, that we need to get to a place where we don't, in a sense, condemn evil. We don't hate evil.
Because you're only hating a reflection of yourself. And that, if you wish a definition of evil, is evil. Which, of course, in your language is exactly the backward form of live. Yes? To not live is evil. Yes?
Yes.
If you want a definition of evil, then that's it. To not live your life.
So when you like take a step back from our planet and you sum up all of the negative experiences that beings are having on our planet,
Yes.
and all the positive energies that are happening on our planet simultaneously,
Yes.
is it that balance of 51%, as you were saying, slightly in the direction of the positive?
Remember
or?
that there's a difference between experience and the actual mechanism. The mechanism is always 51% positive, 49% negative. If you want to put an arbitrary percentage on it, that will do as an illustration. The experience that you're having can be quite different. But if you know that it's only an experience laid on top of the mechanism, then you will know that even though the experience may seem to be 99% negative and only 1% positive, that experience is still laid on top of a structure that by definition has to be more positive than negative. And that's why you can always find a way to transform any negative experience into a positive one by keying back into your knowledge that the structure underlying it can only be mostly positive, and therefore there is always an opportunity to get something positive out of it, even when it appears to be mostly negative, because that's just an illusion. It's just a play. It's just doing the job that was written for it in the script.
Okay, and lastly, I know that many people on Earth, I guess I'll use the word struggle,
Yes.
with the idea of being on a planet where there is so much negativity. And that it's like it hurts their soul. It's like they can't stand it, that there's so much suffering, that all of these things that put the individual in a state that's obviously a negative state, condemning the negative state.
Yes, which adds more negativity and
Right.
increases and expands the experience of suffering. Instead of using the suffering as a lesson to create a reality where there is no longer suffering, which would be the compassionate way to read the suffering. To understand that someone who is choosing an experience of suffering can actually be a great teacher exercising great power enough to be willing to express an experience of suffering so that others may avoid it, if they take that path. But if they simply go into the idea of negativity about it, then they're only increasing the suffering, and they're actually missing the point of why a masterful being may have chosen to experience suffering, to illuminate to others that they don't have to experience that. Yes?
Yes, so if individuals find themselves, in a sense, getting down about the
Yes.
way things are and everything,
Yes.
if we were to think of one image, one way of illuminating your frequency and feeling good about Earth.
Take responsibility. I chose to be here. Why? I am here to experience something that will allow me to recognize myself as more than I recognized myself as before. There is a positive reason that I can extract from every experience here. That's why I chose to be here, not only for myself, but in extracting positive experience from even the negative situations. I will act as a shining example that will help all others know they can do so too. I am here for them. I am here for me. I am here to have an experience of all that is equally valid to any other experience. And it's about finding a way to allow this to work for me instead of assuming in any way, shape, or form that I am a victim at anyone's mercy, because everything is in my hands here. And it is all made out of unconditional love. All I have to do is align with that knowledge, and I will experience it to be so.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tadeo.
You are welcome, Nania. On that note, you may all begin to relax and take a deep breath in and really begin to relax into yourself.